If you struggle to land in tune reliably, you need to fix your hand frame. Playing with an unstable hand frame is like playing darts in an earthquake. You're going to miss most of the time. I'll spend most of this video guiding your hand into the right position, but we'll also touch on training the fingers and moving them around the violin. The first thing we need to do is to find a comfortable position where we can reach all 4 fingers without moving the hand. The problem is, most people start with their first finger really comfortable, and then they have to completely move their hand to reach the 4th finger. The 4th finger is very limited with how far forward it can stretch, but the 1st finger can reach back a really long way. So if we find a comfortable 4th finger position to start with, then we can reach back the 1st finger and find a balanced hand position that can reach all the fingers with minimal effort and without moving the hand. Now, if it were really that simple, we could finish the video there and you'd all be professionals in no time, but in reality, it takes quite a while to find the position and then to get used to it and to make it your new default. Before I cover several other ways to find this position, here are some key principles to help. Being stuck here, between the thumb and the base of the 1st finger, is a really common major issue. There should be no horizontal pressure between those 2 points. Just enough to lift the violin, which is basically nothing, but no actual squeezing the neck. The thumb position is very personal, and you can try moving it forwards or backwards between an A flat and a B natural on the G string. See what feels most comfortable for you. If you're not sure, start with an A natural opposite the 1st finger. The vertical placement of the thumb can also be adjusted from slightly underneath the neck to sitting on the knuckle. Just make sure you can comfortably support the violin without squeezing. Definitely avoid this shape. Once you've found your ideal hand position, I recommend removing your thumb and replacing it lightly to find the most relaxed position and to check that you aren't squeezing at all. You can also adjust the height of your hand relative to the fingerboard. The lower you are, the more naturally spread your fingers are, but the less relaxed they are. And the higher your hand, the closer your fingers are together, but the more relaxed they are. So you want to find somewhere in the middle that allows you to reach without feeling too uncomfortable. I think a lot of people could explore lower because that spread is usually the challenge. This is different for everyone depending on the size of their hand and the length of their fingers. Notice the 1st finger reaching back slightly. You'll see this on any good player, and you can look in a mirror to check yours. Make sure the elbow is well under the violin. If it's too far to the left, you won't be able to reach with the 4th finger. Just make sure you're swinging from side to side like this and not coming in towards the body like this. Here are 4 ways to find that hand position. You'll probably find one of them's easiest for you. Every student is different. We already worked on the first method of finding your 4th finger and reaching back with the 1. But if you're struggling with the reaching back part, try moving your hand up to 3rd or 4th position, doesn't matter if you're in tune, and then from there, see how far you can reach back with the 1. It should be able to reach a really long way. Make sure the elbow's under and the finger will end up on its side, and there should be a lot of flexibility here. You're actually stretching this way, not sideways. It's more forwards and back. So from there, you can reach a long way. Now move back to 1st position, find the 4, reach back the 1, now it should be easy. The second method is to just try and place your 1st finger on the corner of the fingertip. So right on the string like this. And you should find from that position it's naturally leaning back and you can more easily reach the 4th finger. The third option that's often been a breakthrough for some of my students is to place your 1st finger on the string comfortably and release your thumb in the base of the 1st finger and come down and forwards, leaving your 1st finger behind. You should then find that you can reach everything much more easily. This is impossible if you're gripping under here with the base of the 1st finger. It should look more like this, like that. The final method is quite tricky, but it does get results. We're going to play 1st finger on E, 2nd finger on A, 3rd finger on D, 4th finger on G, and we hold all those fingers down. It's pulled our arm into the right position, and now if we leave the arm and wrist and everything there, but we just relax the fingers, you should find is really easy to reach. So choose whatever method works best for you. Now let's move on to training the fingers. We're going to start with 4-1-4-1, and we're going to check with the open string above. And we'll check often to make sure we're not repeating anything out of tune. The fingers should move back in an arc from the bass knuckles. And they should maintain their round shape. The motion is similar to a piano hammer hitting the strings. Now train every finger combination you can think of. 3-4, 2-4, 1-4, Check again with open strings. Notice that I'm not moving the hand, only the fingers. 0, 3. Check with the open D. 0, 4. Check with the open E. Put the 2 right next to your third finger. Don't check it with an open string. 0, 1. 0, 4. Train the speed. Do trills. Release the thumb to check for tension. Now we can move on to a finger exercise. I always start with Shradik, and then I move on to Shevchik Opus 1. I've put them together into a PDF with a few of my favourite exercises and included some notes and reminders. You can download it from a link in the description. With Shradik, I'll often get students to start with the 6th line to get their whole hand frame set up before they go to the first line, which starts with the first finger. So they avoid starting here and then having to readjust immediately. With this efficient hand position, you should be able to play much more in tune, but also quite a lot faster. But that's a topic for another video. I cannot emphasize this enough. You must check your 1, 3, and 4 with the open strings very often, even when you think you're in tune. Because if you do this for just 10 minutes a day for a week, you've already done thousands of repetitions of each finger. You do not want to be repeating it out of tune. So now we have an efficient and reliable hand frame that can land in tune much more reliably. Now all we need to do is learn how to move that around the violin. The finger's job is to drop onto the string. That is it. Everything else comes from the arm and the hand, moving as a unit, allowing the fingers to drop in the correct place. Notice that even in crossing strings, it's not the fingers that are moving, but rather my elbow. As soon as we do this with only our fingers, we lose our hand frame and we'll be completely out of tune. Hover the fingers over the string and swing the elbow, maintaining a straight wrist. You can see how the fingers move effortlessly, ready to drop on a different string. With no effort, none of this. Try playing simple finger patterns across all the different strings using only your elbow to move. 0, 1. 0, 3. 3, 4. Now take your Shradik and swing the elbow to the right and play it on the G string. And then swing to the E string, D, back to A. Now take a simple scale and see how little effort it takes for your fingers to land in tune. Now to take this into different positions, again the arm and the hand do all the work and the fingers can just drop in place. To check if your hand frame is moving correctly with you, you can tap the 4th finger in the new position to make sure your hand frame is still there. Add other fingers when you're ready. Do an arpeggio. Make sure the arm is doing all the work, the fingers can just drop. As soon as you start to shift with the finger and not the arm, your hand frame's gone and you cannot reliably land in tune. You can break these rules later, but you need to have a consistent default hand position before you bend the rules. Before we get to a few final tips, if you are looking for more personalized help, I do offer online lessons. You can find a link below to get in touch. A few extra tips to finish off. Finger pressure, make it as light as possible. Start with playing like a harmonic, and then just add enough pressure until you get a good note. You barely need to press it to the fingerboard, and it's probably way less pressure than you're used to using. Me too, I always have to remind myself of this. And then if you're up in high positions, you can use even less pressure. This will help you be much faster and have way less tension. The wrist should be straight or maybe a little bit bent inwards, but never bent outwards like this. If you feel the need to do that, come in instead, but you have to release the base of your first finger to do so. So if I can't reach my 4, I can stretch like this, which doesn't actually help, just makes everything worse. Or I can come forwards and in towards the fingerboard, and then I can reach. I did say this one before, but the no horizontal squeezing here between the thumb and the first finger is really critical. So just look out for that, and remember the reset, you can always just lift your thumb and put it back again. Now don't be surprised if things get worse before they get better. If you're setting up a new hand frame that's not familiar, it'll take a while to get used to, but after a few days you'll definitely start to see results. If you often sound out of tune even on long notes, it could be a right hand issue, and so check out this video to see how your bow affects your intonation. Happy practicing, good luck.